Some kind of a pick, some kind of almost like you do in basketball. Just get him free. We'll find out where he lines up here. He's going to be all the way up to the left.
Offensive lineman must remember a holding penalty in the end zone is a safety.
Here's Bolden up at the top.
There's Blake looking to throw out of the end zone, and he threw it away. Looking for the tight end, Freddie Jones, under pressure from Chucky Wakuri.
Yeah, you know, as long as he's outside the pocket there, he can throw that ball away without intentional grounding. An out call, they're running kind of a route right here on a bootleg, but that was well covered. Both Freddie Jones well covered. Packer fans in that corner end zone, they must feel like they're on the road right now. It is loud and noisy. See Pete Kendall, the center, telling the Packer fans to quiet down.
From the end zone on 3rd and 10. Blake complete. Freddie Jones. First down out at the 16-yard line. That will certainly quiet down the Packer fans and bring the Cardinal fans to their feet.
Well, that, and look at the protection here of this offensive line. I mean, KGB doesn't really get off the line of scrimmage against Anthony Clementes. He's stoned. And the way those linemen are standing up right now, you wonder how much fatigue and how much the heat is taken on being out here almost the entire third quarter so far.
The breathing room for the Cardinals from the 15. Emmett out to the 19-yard line. Led by Al Harris on a penalty marker. Postseason baseball beginning in just 9 days here on Fox. Call is against the Cardinals. Final Saturday of the regular season. Next Saturday, Braves and the Phillies, Mets and Marlins, Brewers at the Astros, and the Mariners will host the A's. That's next Saturday starting at 1 Eastern. Major League Baseball on Fox, the final Saturday of the regular season.
Yeah, the Cardinals guilty of a cut block this time. Brian Johnson going in on Anton Edwards. I don't know about that. He never put his helmet inside the legs there. We saw a nasty one last week in Carolina. Keenan McCardell chop blocking on Kavika Pittman, put him out for the season. That's why that's a 15-yard penalty. It's so flagrant.
And McCardell fined this past week by the league office. First down at 17. Marcel Schick brings it out to the 17-yard line. Schick gained 9. Brought down by Kabir Panja-Viamilla.
Well, you know, Schick is a guy that Cardinal fans haven't seen much of this season, and he was their featured back a year ago, and deservedly so. He's very strong, and a huge win against the Giants right here last year. He basically wore down the Giants' defense and won that game in the fourth quarter by himself.
Led the Cardinals in rushing last year. Second down and 8. Handoff to Schick, and he is forced back. Rod Walker, backup nose tackle.
Rod Walker filling in there for Gilbert Brown. They're rotating in the middle. Here he is, just plays off the block by Pete Kendall. Mike McKenzie working. Well, that's kind of a cheap shot, and Mike McKenzie got himself a little step in there. Got away with one because sometimes the second guy that gets caught, you know, that's kind of a dangerous thing to do if you do, because you're going to give Arizona an automatic first down.
But McKenzie not caught. So it's third down and 9. Cardinals must get to the 25. But the play is blown dead.
False start, offense, left guard, 5-yard penalty remains, third down.
Ryan, the Green Bay defense has now been on the field for 28 of the last 34 plays in the game.
Yeah. dating back to ending the second quarter there, and then through the third quarter. But, this third down, you want to be a good defense. You want to go and defend your NFC North title. You got to find extra wind. You got to suck it up here. This is a chance to go make a play on 3rd and long. Those defensive backs will be ball hawking, and if you're a pass rusher, they only have 1 sack by that defensive line all year. This is when you want to turn it loose.
Packers already know that the Vikings won today. Minnesota now 3-0 in the NFC North. Cardinals have to get to the 25, and they do! Brian Johnson with another big reception. He needed 14, Brian, and he gained 15.
Yeah, and that's almost the veteran appeal that these rookie receivers have. They seem to be so mature about understanding the offense, knowing where the sticks are, how far they got to go. That's a good body catch. Because, see, what's going to happen here is Mike McKenzie covering, or Darren Sharp recovering on the play is going to try and strip it. But he's got that thing locked in against the body, and that's a good catch.
Remember, he fumbled last week early in the game. Hit Johnson against Seattle. Marcel Shipp loses a yard.
Remember, and Jeff Blake sat him down after he fumbled on the first play, and he said, look, you got to be smart in this league. You catch that ball in a zone. Get down. Don't try to get too much. This isn't Penn State against Toledo. This is the NFL. You're going to get hit by BBs.
That will do it for the third quarter. The only score in the quarter, a 37-yard dramatic field goal. Cardinals leading by 3. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a word from your local. Let's do it, American.
Yeah.
Provolone.
Well,
Just gave you 3.
I'm an American cheese guy. See there, the ball control, the third quarter by the Cardinals. This is their game plan. And this kind of heat, this is what they want to do. When they've won big games early in the year here in Arizona, beating Washington, beating the Giants last year, this is how they've done it. They've worn teams down. They've played good ball control. They've kept the ball away from the other team. It's just a good formula to get to the fourth quarter with the lead and being able to control the line of scrimmage. It was a dream for Dave McGinnis.
Second down and 11 from the 25. Blake in trouble. Got rid of it. As we check in once again with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Kenny, not good news for St. Louis. Take a look at Marshall Faulk on this run right here. And that how he fell on the left hand. X-rays confirmed a fractured left hand as he heads off. That took place in the third. Right now, St. Louis is nursing a 6-point lead back. Kenny out to Brian Baldinger.
Yeah, and on that last play, Al Harris came and hit Jeff Blake.
And a late flag for intentional grounding. So the Cardinals penalized.
Well, I don't know how you could call that intentional grounding. Jeff Blake just gets sandwiched there. I think that had something to do with the ball and the way it came out. But right now, Green Bay, that was a double corner cat blitz. They're looking to try to create a turnover here. Try to make something happen, get the ball away from the Cardinals.
Blake has not been sacked. Hit 4 times, 8 hurries.
That intentional grounding is a costly penalty because it's also a loss of down.
Now third down and 21. Cardinals have to get to the 36. Freddie Jones made the catch, but he stopped 3 yards shy. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line after a gain of 18.
Well, Jeff Blake had a monster first game. They lost that game to Detroit, but he threw the ball all over the field that day. And right now, when he's getting time, he's finding the receivers. I wonder if they just hurt themselves with that intentional grounding call, and I kind of question it just because of the way he was sandwiched as he was throwing.
Scott Player back at his own 20-yard line. Getting set to punt to Antonio Chapman. Low snap. Chapman back all the way at the 9-yard line. Terrific kick by Player. Chapman down the sidelines. Forced out by the punter Player. At the 41-yard line. 33-yard return by Antonio Chapman. his longest punt return of the season. Setting up terrific field position for the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh, you're a naughty little boy, aren't you? Keep it up, and I'm gonna give you a spanking. I'll teach you the meaning of respect. You're not getting any of my Bud Light. Do you hear me? No kisses for you. Not till you learn to obey me. Now, get down on all fours.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
William Henderson on the check down. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Another Packer first down.
Yeah, you know, William Henderson has been valuable in the passing game today. Number of key receptions for him. Sometimes, you know, that's his third catch. You concentrate so much on those receivers and Favre and the tight ends in the red zone, you kind of forget about the fullback.
3 receptions, 47 yards for William Henderson.
Yeah, he's never been a guy that goes down easy as well.
So the Packers moving the chains, trailing by 3 from the 35-yard line. Amon Green down inside the 25. Finally brought down by Dexter Jackson after a gain of 11.
Yeah, and Robert Ferguson is shaken up. He came in with a bad ankle, hurt that knee in the first week in that loss to Minnesota, and that's what he's pointing to, the left knee.
Gains 2 yards down to the 22-yard line. James Darling made the tackle.
Now, even though Green Bay hasn't been on the field much in the second half, they haven't gotten away from the balance of their offense. I mean, right now, still very balanced. Staying with the running game, not panicking, only down 3. Still staying within the framework of the game plan here.
Saw Ferguson on the sidelines.
Yeah, and you see Amon Green has been close, a couple of runs here, where he's just gotten tripped up at the end, but you almost get the feeling that he's got that one breakaway one still in him.
Favre calls timeout. We are told the Green Bay trainer's working on Ferguson's right knee. His return is questionable. As the distance, and we are tied at 13.
Harris yesterday, and he said that he only had 3 penalties all of last year. He had to stop being so aggressive with his hands because they kept flagging him for illegal contact.
He said 2 of the 3 were opening week last year.
Yeah. And I think this may be an issue of whether this was a catchable ball. It was well beyond Brian Johnson's range.
Al Harris also told us his last haircut was back in 1998.
Yeah, and he said he's not cutting it soon unless the commissioner makes him. I didn't see him do anything.
They might pick this flag up.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. Automatic. Push down.
I said to Al, I said, what about that pass interference penalty when the ball's thrown 40 yards down the field? Sometimes it's not catchable, and it becomes a 40-yard penalty like that. He laughed. He goes, well, you want me to say that it should be?
Cardinals gained 28 yards on this call.
That's a terrible call. I mean, Al Harris just turned to run with Brian Johnson.
I agree. From the 40, late to the fullback, James Hodgins. Gains 4 as we check in once again with JB.
Kenny and Brian, Redskins were down by 17 against Atlanta last week and won. Down by 18 here. They have now narrowed it to 11 with that touchdown toss. Patrick Ramsey to Darnarian McCants. Now in the fourth quarter, 21-10 Giants. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Hey, JB, Frank Caliendo's here at the game this afternoon. He's made it out of the studio, and he's watching the Cardinals and the Packers from the sidelines. Second down and 6. Coming back inside Emmitt Smith down to the 31-yard line, just shy of the marker as Emmitt picks up 5.
Again, a couple issues with the last 28-yard pass interference penalty. First of all, you're down at the bottom here, and I don't know. I mean, Al Harris turned to run with Brian Johnson, and then the ball lands 6 yards beyond Brian Johnson. It's not like Al Harris armbarred him or slowed him down from getting to that football. You know, if you're Al Harris sitting out there in the corner without any help like that, you go, what else? What am I allowed to do? What can I do in this game right now to cover these guys?
Well, that ball was not catchable. Emmitt Smith on 3rd and 1. Picks up the first down to the 29 with 9.5 remaining. Keep in mind, in this tie game, the Cardinals, head coach Dave McGinnis elected to kick a field goal with 8 seconds left in the first half when it seemed like they had time to take one last shot at the end zone from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, and you know, right now, as they drive here, it isn't the biggest play in the world, but you always have to look back and say, do we leave points on the field that we could have had? Maybe one other chance to the end zone could have provided a touchdown instead of a field goal.
New set of downs for the Cardinals from the 29-yard line. Ship. Terrific second effort. Marcel Ship close to another first down.
You know, you look at Joe Johnson having a hard time getting up right here, and Hannibal Navy's slow to get up, and as a Cardinal fan, Robert Ferguson limping off the field. This is the Cardinals' game plan right here, Penny. Running 2 backs, leaning on the offensive line, minus Leonard Davis. Keeping the game close, getting it to the 4th quarter, taking advantage of the heat.
And that's exactly what Dave McGinnis told us yesterday. He said, we're not a catch-up team, but if we can get close within the second half, use the heat, use Emmitt and Marcel Ship, we'll be happy.
Well, they're rotating those backs, and that doesn't look like a fresh group right there.
Cardinal portion of the crowd on their feet. 8.5 to play.
By HP Technology Services and people help make more things more possible. And by Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Well, Dave McGinnis said playing here in Arizona in September is like playing, you know, hotter than a hump of hell. And I tell you, it feels like that to those players right now.
On 2nd and 1, Emmitt Smith all the way down to the 12-yard line, but a penalty marker.
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's Pete Kendall, the Cardinals center. This feels like a college football atmosphere. You have Packer fans on one
like a bowl
side,
game.
Cardinal fans over on the other side.
Yeah, that's a true bowl game. I always thought that was always a lot more fun atmosphere when you got fans of both teams in the stadium, kind of cheering against each other. Packer fans on their feet.
Over 58,000, Brian. Biggest crowd for a Cardinals home game since the Packers were here 3 years ago.
And I got to be honest, as a Cardinal player down there, you appreciate the Packer fans because there's energy, there's life in the stadium. You don't feel like you're playing in an empty pit like some Sundays here.
You played here with the Cowboys and Eagles. Did it feel like a home game for you?
Sometimes, especially, you know, when we were winning.
Blake on 2nd and 13, fires complete down at the 13-yard line to Anquan Bolden.
Who else? I tell you, this kid is huge. And, you know, nothing phases him. He acts like a veteran, like he expects the ball. Watch him, he's beaten. Mike McKenzie working into that zone. A lot of guys don't like to go in there on what they call that dig route, that deep in, because they know they're going to get crushed by that safety. I think he embraces going into the middle of the field like that.
Making Cardinal fans quickly forget about losing David Boston. 1st and 10, 13-yard line. Emmitt looks to spin away from McCory, and then is taken down. No gain on the play.
Watch Anquan Bolden after catching that ball. He's got to come in motion now. Watch him run in motion. He can barely do the fake here. He just got to. I'll get back to the huddle here. Catch my breath.
Looked like he was running in place.
Yes. You know, but he doesn't take many plays off. And here he was holding, taking on Mike McKenzie. Not backing down to the veteran corner at all. A couple plays earlier now.
2nd and 10. Ship has replaced Emmitt Smith off the play fake. Complete to James Hodgins. And gained about 3 yards with Darren Sharper climbing up his back. Gets all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Well, you know, the Cardinals have been taken to task this week for not spending a lot of cap money, but they have brought in a couple of free agents like Jeff Blake and Hodgins, who look like they're starting to pay off some dividends. That Hodgins is 275 pounds of gristle, and he's a good lead back and a valuable player on that catch.
Al Harris limped off the field, replaced by Baldinger. Marcel Shipp picks up another Cardinal first down. Down to the 2-yard line.
Hey, that Marcel Shipp now has been a class guy and a team player, taking a back seat to Emmitt Smith, but getting a couple of carries here.
Packers continue to rotate in defensive players. Gilbert Brown might get more tired jogging in from the sidelines than he does during the course of the play.
Yeah, it's about a 50-yard jog or sprint out there to get in place.
Reset the fucking truck. What do you want? What do you want?
Shipp and Hodgins
Hold on.
in the backfield. First and goal from the 2. Marcel Shipp down to the 1-yard line. Hannibal Davies, Nick Barnett in on the tackle. 4.5 to play. Cardinals and Packers tied at 13. Cardinals have led 7-0 at 13-10. Has been tied 3 times. Green Bay had a 10-7 lead in the second quarter. Cardinals just 1 yard away from regaining the lead.
And Emmitt Smith out there on the field, you know, hasn't scored yet for the Cardinals. 1 yard away. You feel like this is Emmitt Smith time.
There's more rushing touchdowns than anybody else in the history of the NFL. Play action to the end zone. Touchdown, James Hodgins. Off the play fake to Emmitt. Hodgins, the former Ram, wide open. And with just under 4 minutes remaining, the Cardinals go back on top.
Boy, I tell you, Jeff Blake was great on that drive, too. Playing with the bad heel. I mean, nice play-action fake to Emmitt into the line. He hides the ball well. He got everybody open. Heck, Freddie Jones was open. Hodgins was open. You know, and Mac is never short of emotion. So, send that field goal team out there.
Third career touchdown for James Hodgins, his first as a Cardinal. 7 minutes, Brian, this half.
Yeah, they played keep away. But, you know, in order to do that, you can't turn the ball over, and they have it in this second half. They've taken care of the football.
Only 1 Arizona turnover in the game back in the first quarter. Chapman taken down by Marcel Shipp out at the 26-yard line. 24 yards on the return. Thompson after a gain of 3 up to the 28.
I tell you, and that defense doesn't look tired. You know, I mean, they just swarmed to that football right there. They've only been on the field 14 plays this half, and I think they got every white hat to Ahman Green there.
Cardinal portion of the crowd chanting defense, defense. Over 58,000, but I would say at least half are wearing green and gold.
Yeah, you know, they don't get a chance to shout defense very often in the fourth quarter. They've been left out of some of these games behind so much.
On second down, the slant is caught for a first down by Javon Walker. Walker into Cardinals territory. David Barrett forces him out at the Green Bay 39. Longest pass of the season, 33 yards for Brett Favre.
There he is working on Kobe Reinhardt, takes the slant, but what he does after the play, breaks that tackle, and then the head is up, looking downfield for that big chunk. And everybody from Favre to Mike Sherman to Tom Rossi said, this kid is on the verge of breaking out because they watch this in practice day in, day out with him.
Officially 34 yards from Favre to Walker. We approach 3 minutes remaining from the 39. Favre complete to Donald Driver, gain of 5, down to the 34-yard line. 26 career fourth quarter comebacks.
Remember just what a comeback is, because a comeback is you're behind entering into the fourth quarter and bring your team back in that fourth quarter overtime to a victory. So that's what the conditions are here. Packers down a touchdown. with exactly 3 minutes to go.
Second down and 6. 3 receivers out of the shotgun. Fake the shovel pass. Can't find anyone downfield. Now looking the other way. And he gets rid of it to Bubba Franks. Favre was about to be sacked by Dennis Johnson. And he found Bubba Franks downfield, and Franks turns a negative play into a 4-yard gain.
You know, people talk about retirement and Favre getting old. I mean, he ran about 60 yards on this play to be able to dump it off to Bubba Franks and set up this 3rd and short, rescuing that play. I mean, still has the conditioning, still has the strength and the savvy to make a play when there's nothing there.
He's had a lot of time to rest today with his defense on the field. That not the case the last time the Packers were here.
Packers only have 10 men on the field.
And they use their second timeout.
I think nobody came in. Whatever personnel package they sent in, there was nobody on the sideline ready to come in.
So the Packers forced to burn their second timeout.
176 straight start, and he's been in this predicament many times. And he's, kind of clapping in there right now, telling his team to hang in there. We got to get this one. Got to get this one before we can start thinking about the next one.
From the 30, 3rd down and 2. And falling backwards to pick up the first down is Ahman Green as we hit the 2-minute warning. Will Favre add this one to his resume? We'll see. Back in Tempe, Arizona, 106 degrees, 2 minutes left, and they trail by 7.
Yeah, and this is Brett Favre time. This is what you expect from him. He said that he's a little tired of doing this on a regular basis, but when he has to do it, he rehearses for it every Thursday, takes it very seriously, and that's what he's got. I mean, that's the situation they're in. Arizona unable to get pressure on him most of the day.
Packers spreading the field, 3 receivers from the 28. Favre to the near side, complete at the 16-yard line. Gain of 12, Javon Walker.
Good job of keeping him inbounds. We watched that game against Minnesota when they were down late in the game without Ferguson and Driver. Javon Walker kind of got active in that game, and that's the situation they're in. Robert Ferguson out right now. He's out there on the field. Another player out of Florida State here.
Freeman in the slot. Driver split to the left, and Walker to the right.
Freeman up there in the slot.
From the 16. Quick slant. Big hit. Incomplete. Emmanuel McDaniel with the hit on Javon Walker.
That's one way to defend a pass, is just to crush the receiver. Good read this time by. Yeah, that's a great throw. Great hit. Laying the shoulder right into Walker.
Daniel with his 5th team, released by Carolina during preseason.
8th year in the league, though, Kenny. He's got a lot of experience. Been in this situation many times.
2nd and 10. Favre complete inside the 10. Bubba Franks down to the 8-yard line.
Green Bay with just 1 timeout left was forced to burn a couple.
William Henderson checks back in on 3rd down and 1, replacing Antonio Freeman. Under a minute to go, 3rd and 1 from just outside the 8.
They can afford to actually run the ball here and burn their timeout and then have 3 shots to the end zone.
They must pick up the first down. It's 3rd and 1. Here's Green, and he gets it. Down to the 7. Clock still running.
I thought they would have taken the timeout.
Looks like Mike Carey will call for the Canes here. Clock ran about 4 seconds after Green was down, and then Mike Carey decides to measure. It's a first down for the Packers.
Well, the measurement stops the clock, so they still get the timeout, and they get the new set of downs. And the clock should start right away here as soon as they set it. And Mike Carey gives the signal to start the clock, and it does.
From the 7-yard line, Favre rolling right, looking end zone, can't find anyone. Now throws deflected and nearly intercepted.
That was a bad throw. I mean, Brett really tried to force that one in there. And was fortunate that that ball tipped, wasn't intercepted. There was all kinds of hands that got in the way of that, and the Cardinals just... You see that Dexter Jackson, who's intercepted Brett Favre on 2 other occasions in his career, had his hands on that ball, got knocked out by his own teammate.
That's right, 2 of his 7 have come against Favre. That play took 12 seconds off the clock.
A lot of time off that clock. That means anything that they catch in the field of play, it's going to be hard to get another play off if it's before the end zone.
Mike Carey called over.
There was a malfunction of the replay equipment. The buzzer went off erroneously. Second down.
Well, I'll tell you what, that should upset Dave McGinnis, because you see Favre has had a chance to go over right now, get cooled off, rested, think about the play without using a timeout.
Gave his defense a chance to rest as well.
Yeah, well, that too.
.16 seconds remaining. Second and goal from the 7. From the shotgun. Favre fires to the end zone. Incomplete. Antonio Freeman was the intended receiver.
He had him too.
That play took 6 seconds. 10 remaining. Pass bounce just in front of Freeman.
Favre was forced to roll to his right, but on the other side, Bubba Franks was uncovered. Favre had no shot of seeing that, rolling to his right and being chased.
2 more chances for the Packers. They have a timeout. Favre to the end zone. It's picked off. Intercepted in the end zone by Dexter Jackson. His 8th career pick, 3 of the 8 have come against Favre.
And what did Dexter Jackson tell us on Friday? He said, make sure you tell Brett that I picked him off 3 times. Of course, we went back and checked. It was only 2, but a little foreshadowing maybe, as that is his 3rd interception off the bar.
So the reigning Super Bowl MVP puts an exclamation point on the Arizona Cardinals' first victory of the season. Jackson's last interception came in the Super Bowl. He caught 2 from Rich Gannon. Signed as a free agent with the Cardinals, who had lost their last 4 meetings with the Packers. Last time the Cardinals beat Green Bay, 1985. They were based in St. Louis. Jim Hannafin was the head coach. Cardinals will run out the clock, and they head back to St. Louis next week. Former hometown of the franchise, while the 1-2 Packers fall 2 games behind division-leading Minnesota. And they will travel to Chicago for a Monday night affair with the Bears a week from tomorrow. Cardinals win it on a score of 20-13. Blake to Hodgins. Game-winning touchdown with 4 minutes to play. The FBC postgame report is next.
Doing it Arizona, but Emmitt Smith in at second and goal from the one, the play action. Jeff Blake to James Hodgins, and you got to be kidding me. The Cards are leading 20-13.
and yet the sell of that play is all about Emmitt Smith and selling that at the line of scrimmage.
So, how many times have you seen it? Just over 3 minutes ago, Brett Favre going to lead a rally to Sterling. No, it's Javon Walker, and it's 34 yards. Here come the pack. More Favre. Almost sacked, but what? He flips to Keith. No, that's Bubba Franks. 4 yards. More Favre to Javon Walker. So you can see the writing on the wall. It's going to be overtime. First and goal. The 7. 24 seconds left. Favre. Oh, it's incomplete. Two Cards have a chance to end the rally and give the team the win. Second and goal. 16 seconds left. Favre to his old buddy Antonio Freeman. Underthrown. Franks pleads for pass on the play, but he doesn't see him. Third and goal, 10 seconds. Favre to the end zone. Dexter Jackson, one of Tom's cousins, makes the pick, but you remember him. Interception. Super Bowl. Now he's a Card. Favre can't believe it. Arizona beat Green Bay.
Packers fans. Red-hot rookie receiver Anquan Bolden spiced things up, and so did seasoned quarterback Jeff Blake.
Blake gonna run, dives, does a flip, and he scores! Touchdown Cardinals!
With Arizona up by 7 with under 4 minutes to play, Brett Favre jumped out of the frying pan and into the Cardinals secondary.
Intercepted! Dexter Jackson! And the Cardinals will defeat Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers!